You must stay healthy in the preseason. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. Just fresh off of the Eagles Alumni Day, I got a chance to take part. I was down there. I'll be having some videos coming out in the future, displaying my little new swag. Got my new shirt. Got the black on there, like this one, the breathable fit. They took care of us down there. Had a real good time. And like I said, I'll have some specific videos about that whole experience a little bit later. Let's take care of business. The Eagles played the Browns. They tied 18-18. You do not play in overtime in preseason, which is a good thing. We had some scares. And the one thing that I've always said, you've heard me here, you've A2D radio, stay healthy, stay healthy, stay healthy. That is the most important thing for a team to have any measure of success in the NFL. You got to get through the regular season healthy. The Eagles had like 21 starters at the end of the year going into the Super Bowl. Usually it doesn't go down like that. Every team's going to deal with injuries, but the team that kind of gets over that problem and gets everybody back to playing at a high level are usually the teams that have success and the long runs in the playoffs. And that's what this is all about. Making it to the end of the regular season, making the playoffs, and making a run in the playoffs. You look at what happened last year with San Francisco. They can talk all the smack in the world. Our guys was healthy. Their guy wasn't. We took their guy out of the game. It wasn't anything purposeful. He had his arm in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Haason Reddick got him. That's just the way it goes, because if the situation was reversed, we'd probably be bitching about it ourselves as Philadelphia fans. We got the better end of that bargain, and that's just the way it goes. You got Tyree Cleveland, Moro Ojomo, both of them leave in carts. Had the concussion protocol, so they got to secure them and do all of that kind of stuff, and it looks a lot worse than it actually is. That's just a precaution. Come to find out, both of them are okay, moving their extremities, but they're going to be out for 2 weeks, I believe it is. There's a chance that they might miss the first game of the season. We'll see how that works out. Grateful that they're okay. I think they're going to go down both as concussions, so they're going to be in concussion protocol at best for whatever that measure of time is. Zach McPherson, he is out. Torn Achilles, he's done for the year. And you hate to see it. And he's somebody, all three of these guys that got hurt, Cleveland, Ojomo, and McPherson, they were going to be special teams guys. At least 2 out of the 3 were. Moro Ojomo was definitely on the bubble. Those guys would have been playing special teams. So now you already done lost Bradley. We lost McPherson. And McPherson could have been a good returner for us. We got some spots to fill. There might be other opportunities for other players to step in and still get a shot on the roster, at least for a couple of weeks until somebody gets healthy. So you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully he can come back like BG did. Nolan Smith was one of those weird injuries. I saw what happened. He made the tackle, and as he had his arms out, his teammate came and hit him going the opposite way. So it was a very violent movement the opposite way his momentum was going. And it looked like it was just a really bad burner or a really bad stinger. I've had that before. I remember I took a hit one time. I thought he broke my shoulder because immediately my arm went, I couldn't move my arm, couldn't feel my fingers. I thought I had broke my shoulder, could not move my arm. And the trainer was snapping it. They grabbed my arm and was doing that to my arm for a good 5 minutes before I could get any feeling. And eventually the feeling came back to my whole arm. That was just a very bad burner. And it looked like that was the situation with Nolan Smith. So nothing serious. He'll be ready to go in the regular season. Haason Reddick has to have surgery on his thumb. Now, I'd heard of this thumb issue a while back. I didn't think anything of it. And I guess he messed it up even more in the joint practices with Cleveland. So he's not going to play in preseason at all, but he should be ready for week 1. That's the way it goes. As long as he's not out in the regular season, we're good. If he's got to wear a cast for a couple weeks, so be it, as long as he can get to the quarterback. Marcus Mariota, he had probably the worst performance of the preseason. He just did not look good. He was sailing the ball on wide open receivers. These weren't even tough throws. He's got that weird, almost kind of like sidearm throw, and it looks like he throws off his back foot, so the balls have zip. There's no arc. His balls are always on the rise. I mean, he's had this his whole career, so he's completed some passes, so he must know how to do it. Now, did he look horrible? Absolutely. Now, the one thing I take into consideration, and nobody's going to give him a pass for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. This dude is from Hawaii. And with everything going on there, I know he's got family and friends and stuff like that that are dealing with all of that mess that's going on in Hawaii. So, to me, it wouldn't be far-fetched if his head is just not in it 100%. Trying to make the best out of it. But when you're in a situation like that, at this level, if your focus isn't there, it shows up. I don't know if that's the case. That's just my opinion. I saw when he answered the questions in the press conference about that, you can detect a little bit of emotion behind all of that. But you saw everything that happened last year with Damar Hamlin. The Buffalo Bills and the teammates, how they had to deal with that situation after the fact. When he's still in the hospital, they got to go on and play the next week. And sometimes your head is just not in the right space. And understandably so. He had a bad game. I'm not going to put too much weight on it. And a bad quarterback can have a good game and you would say, no big deal, it's just the preseason. So this is no different. We're in a situation where we hope that it'll never come into a situation where Marcus Mariota needs to play. Unless he's playing mop-up duty. Other than that, let's pray that we never have to see him on the field in any meaningful minutes. Tanner McKee, everybody wants him to be the number 2 now. He's had 2 great preseason games. He looks the part. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He's very confident with his throws. He's getting rid of the ball on time. He looks like he understands what he's seeing. And that's the biggest thing for young NFL quarterbacks. Do you understand what you're seeing? Do you understand the packages, coverages, hidden coverages, blitzes, hot reads? As a quarterback, you got to process all of that in a split second. Because if it takes you past that 0.3 seconds to recognize what's going on, now you got a defensive end or a defensive tackle breathing down your neck. So it seems like Tanner McKee is getting it done and he understands what he's seeing and he's acting accordingly and putting the ball in the right place. And he's got a good touch. Might not be able to run worth a crap. He's putting that ball where it needs to be. A lot of people want him to be the number 2 now. Not going to happen because that $6 million contract from Marcus Mariota says otherwise. That's a business deal. As bad as Marcus Mariota looked the other night, he's still going to be a solid backup. Nakobe Dean finally showed up. Finally got some real minutes, got in there and made a couple splash plays to let you know he's for real. Once again, if he stays healthy, he's good to go. But I don't understand why you got to put that extra caveat on it if he stays healthy. You say that about every position, every player in the league. It shouldn't be that that's a special case for him because of his size. Miles Jack had battled injury before. Zach Cunningham, he's coming off an injury. It happens to everybody. Doesn't matter what size you are, doesn't matter what position you play. So stop using that as an excuse to say you're unsure about Nakobe Dean. He's proven that he belongs where he is, and he's going to be continuing to prove that. Special teams still look sloppy, so we still got some work. Now, granted, like I mentioned earlier, we are losing special teamers. We haven't lost anybody that we would consider a starter, but that's going to be held to pay replacing those guys on special teams, especially Bradley, Zach McPherson, I think they were experimenting with him because we're not used to seeing him back there. Then we got Britton Covey hurt, so now we need another returner. So is Boston Scott going to be back there again? Rashad Penny? Go on YouTube and look up Rashad Penny when he was still in school. He was a nasty kick returner. So that's an option that we have. We might not use it. You know, when you get into situations like this, or you're looking to put everything in cement and see who's on the roster and who isn't, you got to make those decisions. So you use what you got. So we'll see what they're going to do, but we got to get through this preseason. And for as much as we fuss, especially guys of my age, we played in the old school, and you guys have heard me, the newer days versus the two-a-days, and how much we used to bang. You just can't do that anymore because the price is too high. If you got your marquee player and they can't play, all of the business that goes into the NFL, they don't want to do that no more. And this is just the way that it is. So you've got to get through the preseason with no injuries. You can't tell somebody to be careful. It is what it is. You just have to deal with it. You don't want people to get hurt. That thing on Nolan Smith, freak accident. The injury to Ojomo, freak accident. You can't plan for stuff like that. It is what it is, and you got to deal with it. We got to get through one more game. Hopefully we can get through clean. That means no injuries. But for the most part, I don't want nobody going off on a stretcher. I don't want to see anybody coming back on the field with crutches. We just got to get through this last preseason game clean. I believe we'll get a little bit of rest, and then we can really get to it. So as usual, like my content, hit that subscribe button. Please click on that notification bell, and I will see you in the next play. Peace.